So when you start any clay project, you're going to need to wedge your clay. And that's what we'll be talking about in this video. So why do we wedge our clay? It's to create an even piece of material with organized particles, and as well to remove any air bubbles that are trapped within the clay. So before you wedge your clay, you need to have clay and have dry hands. If your hands are wet, you're going to slip and it's going to make it really difficult to work the clay. So next, what do we need? Well, we need to, what I recommend is to use about between 2 and 3 pounds of clay. So I've gathered clay from my bag. Now I'm going to use my wire tool to cut the clay. You could also just pull it apart. Wire tool is a really nice tool for cutting clay. Okay, so now I have this kind of random cluster of clay, and to start this process, I find it nice to organize the clay into a shape somewhat like this. Now I'm going to proceed to wedge my clay. So most of the work is going to be done on this meaty part right underneath your thumb. You're going to support the clay on the side with your palms, and then you're going to use your fingers to rock the clay. So my hands are in place. I'm going to push forward away from my body about, the way I think about it is a little less than halfway through the mass of the clay. Rock it up and proceed to repeat. I think when I push, I go down and then forward a little bit. It's a smooth kind of rocking motion. So I've done it slow a couple times. This is more of a normal speed. You'll have to figure out, I think going slow at first and just kind of becoming comfortable with the motion is recommended. Okay, now I want to talk about how visual signs to know that you're moving the clay, or that you're wedging the clay properly. Okay, so here I have these marks made by the meaty part underneath my thumb are creating this kind of concave area. I have this ridge in between where my thumbs are, and these kind of layering patties that are coming up around and rotating into the clay. So I can see through all this information that I am incorporating the clay through itself. I'm organizing all the particles in a way in which they are in a similar orientation, and I am pushing the clay tight together to remove any air bubbles. When you're done wedging your clay, or when you're approaching done, or when you're ready to finish wedging your clay, and it's recommended to do this, a lot. I probably have done it half as much as I would if I was going to prepare this for the wheel. So now I have my clay. I did my last, I'll say, normal wedge, and now I'm going to just for these next 4 or 5 wedges, I'm just going to slowly use less and less pressure, and now at the very end I'm just going to give it a roll. Now I have a piece of clay that is prepared and ready to be manipulated. If I was going to take this to the wheel, this is the process I would do. I'd turn it into a teardrop, and that's wedged clay.